Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is LK coming to you from outside of Cincinnati, Ohio today. I was sitting here driving with my radio off, and I started reflecting and really thinking, like a lot of truck drivers do. And I stumbled upon a topic that is rarely talked about, but majorly misunderstood. And that is when you tell somebody to change. When throughout my life, I'll give you my personal testimony. Throughout my life, there have been things where there have been negative parts about my character where people say, you need to change, you need to change, you need to change. And so in a lot of ways I did change. But the thing that was not made aware to me is that everything is not about you changing. It's not. The key thing that a lot of people do not think of is that you don't necessarily have to change. Some places you just need to grow. Like when you hear people say, grow up, whatever. But it goes down to so much more than just telling somebody, oh, you need to mature, you need to grow up. No, it goes way deeper than that. It goes into every little different characteristic that we have that makes us who we are. So, that's what this video is about. I'm going to explain the difference between change and growth. So, because I thought about this driving by trees, I got to thinking, these trees are hundreds of years old. In the wintertime they look one way, in the summertime they look a different way, in the spring they look a different way, every season they look different. They look like they've changed. And so when I talk about change, I mean, this is the definition to me of change, especially when it comes down to a living thing, like trees. Change is you are altering something at the roots. So you are taking the foundation of what this organism is, and you are changing it. You're altering it. You're changing the very foundation of which this whole thing is built on. So when you talk about trees, you're changing something at the roots in the ground. You know, you're doing something to pretty much make that tree not be the same tree no more. Not by appearance, but by its built, by the inside. And when it comes down to humans, we're talking spiritual. But when you talk about growth is something that can make you appear as if you changed. But really you are who you are at the foundation. So growth would be when you tell people to grow up, for example. That's the most common and only thing that people really talk about is grow up, grow up, grow up. Growing up is taking, if you really think about telling somebody to grow up, that's taking a characteristic that they already have, a positive thing that they already have, and just telling them to be more mature about it. So grow up, meaning keep that ideology, but handle it in a more mature way. They're not changing their ideas. They're growing up. They're growing into a more mature way of thinking. They're growing in the aspect of becoming better. So for example, when I was younger, I was a hothead. Bad temper. Before I reached high school, I've been brought home more times by the police than I don't know what. I can't even, it's probably been over 5 times that I've been brought home by the police, not counting the times that I've been in the back of the police cars. Or I've been handcuffed to a table before craziness. But I had to grow. And this is where, me personally, again, my testimony, where I had the problem of people telling me I needed to change. I needed to change. I needed to change. So they told me I had to change my anger. I had to change my ways. But by me changing, unguided, well, I'm sorry, not unguided, but very pressured. I was very pressured. By me changing, I lost my edge. So meaning that I would be so furious and so upset on the inside, but I did not have a healthy outlet to make sure that my anger was known and understood. Because the way I made my anger known and understood is through violence. That's all I knew. Violent outbursts, fighting, all that stuff. But now that I'm going through another metamorphosis in my life now, it's not the problem is not that I had anger. Because looking back, I had valid reasons for being angry. Now, even as an adult, I have valid reasons for being angry. But the problem is, instead of me changing, I should have grown. I should have matured to where, instead of me just being violent with it, deal with it on different levels. Deal with it in a more mature way. Instead of calling somebody's mom the B word and just cussing them out and going in, politely attack their character. Politely attack the fiber of who they are within reason. If they're trying to attack you, not necessarily that you always have to attack back, but you know, you can get your point across without resorting to violence, with violence being your last resort. So that's just an example of how we have to look at ourselves and say, do we need to change? Do we need to change the fiber of who we are? Or do we need to just grow and learn how to deal with things better? Because with growth comes knowledge. With change comes knowledge as well, but you have to start all the way over. Because when you change, you are pretty much falling up and throwing away the person that you currently are, or the person that you used to be. But when you grow, you maintain the person that you are. You maintain the person, the person that you used to be. But you're learning, you are actively learning and actively growing in different areas in your life that you feel as if needs some attention. So in my instance, it's anger. I have to grow in the department of dealing with anger, learning better coping mechanisms. That's me showing growth. Other things is even me as a father. I have to grow to be a better father. I don't need to scrap it all because in the grand scheme of things, I'm a good dad. I'm not a deadbeat. I care a lot about my son. I go to battle for my son whenever I can. But I need to grow to be better. So I don't need to start all over. I need to grow to be better. And so that's my thing for you for today. My followers, people watching these videos, the people that are going to subscribe and hit that alert button and like this video. I want you to really sit down and reflect. In your life right now, do you need to go through a change? Meaning, do you need to be uprooted and put a new tree in? Or do you just need to grow? Do you just need to learn how to deal with, do you need to take the person who you are now and grow on its good traits? Or are you a person filled with negativity that just needs to change? So, if you haven't heard it today, I love you. I believe in anything that you put your mind to, you can achieve. I need you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that alert bell, ring that bell. I love you. Peace out.